Hello and welcome. This is your Sunday message. My name is Reverend Melissa Kennedy. I am a spiritual healer. I hold my degree in metaphysics, and the rest of my life is devoted towards helping others along their spiritual path. And the reason why it's such a passion for me is because there was really no one there for me to light the way. When I discovered long ago as a young teen that I was telepathically communicating with animals, and I've mentioned this before in previous podcasts that I often wonder, what would my life have been like if I had been able to just step right into who I really am, who I was born to be, the gifts that I embodied from a very early age. Courses, what different courses or directions would my life have taken? Well, nobody really knows, but the truth is, everything always happens in divine timing. And if you've been listening to my messages, you will know that I don't script anything, okay? I just sit with spirit. I open up, I bring in all of the light, filling my entire body, connecting in with higher self, God, angels, universe. People ask me, Melissa, how do you know who you're talking to when you open up and you receive messages or you work with the tarot or oracle cards? My answer is very simple. I know that everything that I do and I bring forth is from the highest level of light, from the highest levels of consciousness that I am able to access at this time. And I trust and I know that the messages that I receive, the feelings that I receive, the impressions, everything that comes in is truth because that is only what I'm interested in. I've always only been interested in the truth. Truth is so important to me. So, no matter what you're doing in your life, no matter where you are, remember to always be walking in your truth. Okay. That doesn't mean I'm an inflexible person. No, I'm very flexible, but I stand by my convictions, the way I see things. And the secret is that in order to be in a state of peace and higher consciousness, you have to allow others to do the same. And if you are having conflict with other people in your life, we are being called to just be okay no matter what, because they're here to learn lessons too, just like we are. And sometimes the things that trigger us are set as a mirror in our life. There is some kind of reflection coming back towards you that you may be reflecting out, and that other person might see those things in you, but you don't see them in yourself. Okay. So always be very mindful about interactions with people, things that come up. And we'll also notice that there's a lot of repeating lessons that come up in our lives. So if we don't stop and really analyze and ask ourselves, what is it that I need to do to change, to heal, so that I'm no longer triggered by these things, then I'm just not going to be in balance. I'm not going to be in this place of peace and being okay, you know? And I was prompted to talk about time because time is very, very tricky. We are so dialed in to how time feels for us. And so, in these very changing times, turbulent times we're living in right now, time seems to be going by so very fast. And it's hard to even keep track of days and the time sometimes. Like, for example, this month for me, June, I kept getting, no matter where I was, whatever date it was, June 16th. And I'm like, oh, what is this? And no matter what, like no matter how grounded I got in the morning and into the present moment, and knowing what day it really was, June 16th kept standing out for me, and that happens to be tomorrow. So nothing to fear. It's just that for some reason, time, my timeline, my thoughts, my consciousness kept being brought to June 16th. So I'm feeling like there's a significant event that happens tomorrow. Whether good, bad, or indifferent, we should be on the lookout. And as I've been saying, if you have been watching my videos, sorry for my absence last Sunday. Again, part of my lessons in moving forward with my life is self-care is very important, and to free flow things, free flow things all the time, okay? And to be okay with it and to give myself grace. So apologies if you look forward to my Sunday messages. Um, but here I am today, right? So I digress. I got a little bit derailed on my point I was trying to make about time. So we have to remember that we are experiencing time, and the June 16th thing was a real thing for me, and that is tomorrow is what I was getting to the point. But we have to really release ourselves from the burdens of time. And I feel like the more I do, the less I care what day it is, what time it is. It really doesn't matter because all we have is this present moment. And this is a recording. So when you watch this, this moment is gone, right? You're already in the future, but you're catching me making this video. But energy cannot be created or destroyed. It's always there. It's always going to be. It's like a flash in the pan, but yet it's infinity. It's very, very complex. So the more that we detach from the constraints of time, I feel the more inner peace we will have. And also today, as I'm making this recording, is Father's Day, June 15th, 2025. And happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And yeah, so it's just really funny how the energy works, how time feels to us right now, but we're being asked to release how we identify with time as we move forward because I feel like in order for us to break free from a lot of the systems that we see out there crumbling, we see wars, we see conflict, and if we focus in on social media, oh my gosh, like if you ever like read above a post on social media and a person will put every detail on the top, okay? I'm a stickler for that. Like I read, and even then I can still miss things, but I'm not going to go down into the comments and act like I'm the only person that's commented on the thread underneath the post, right? And you go down under there and it's like nauseating. It's the same thing. You got people misinterpreting what the person posted. Then you've got people in the comments misinterpreting people that have commented in the comments. It just goes on and on and on. And it's like it's nauseating sometimes, I'm not going to lie, and it's exhausting. Do you know what I mean? If you do, leave me a comment below if you experience this as well and you're noticing these. It's like this repeating program for each individual post, and I'm just so over social media. I wouldn't even be on social media if it wasn't for my business and really connecting with great people, great spiritual people. So it has the light, it has the dark, but that drama and people fighting and having conflict every single post, people saying hurtful things to other people. And I'm like, my gosh, how can they say that, And like they'll look at somebody's profile, and if they're older, they'll call them old, old woman, old man, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, wow, none of us are here to be young forever. So how dare we be so arrogant and so disrespectful to each other? My goodness, we need to get back to our spiritual center. We need to connect in with our divine light, with our divine guidance every day. And I don't want to sound like an old person, but really, like after a while, you start seeing all these things and you're like, oh my goodness, like, really? When are people just going to wake up and understand that we're never going to change anyone? And good, who wants to? They have to decide to change themselves. And how do they do that? They have to identify what it is they need to heal. And if they keep getting triggered, if they keep going on social media and commenting and being negative, and it was super funny because in one of the posts I was reading, one of the woman's name was Karen. And, with all of the things from the past about being a Karen and complaining about everything. And then somebody commented about that. And then Karen got really angry about that, just went on and on. So it was kind of comical too. But so it depends on how you look at everything right now, whether it's time, whether it's interactions with people, whether it's the world. We have to just kind of unplug. We have to be within our heart space, connect up, bring that energy down, and just be in that energy and just be okay. release ourselves from the limitations of time and just release our expectations for anything. And I'm telling you, we will just crack this grid. We will fracture this matrix and we will rise to higher states of consciousness if we all just decide to just let it go. Let it go. And if you're listening to this message, I want you to unite your thoughts and your energy with all of the leaders in the world, just letting go of the idea of war and how that is ever going to change anything. That's never going to change anything. That's never going to help anyone. As far as I know, everyone that I know, there's not one person that supports war. Not one. Why are we allowing these leaders to keep waging war against us and then their people against each other? When are we just going to stop and really be intelligent beings on this planet? I feel like that whatever else is out there in the universe, in the cosmos, whatever else is viewing us, would certainly show up a lot sooner to help us with the technologies that are going to be coming into our world, right? That are going to just catapult us into a whole new world with all of the suppressed technologies and information that's been kept from us. So that's just a little bit of what was coming through today. It's just have respect for yourself, then have respect for other people, and then just be at peace and just let it go. And we can't control, we think we can't control, what's going on in the world stage, but in a way we can because just holding in as much light as we possibly can, being that light for others, being that beacon of light, and being anchored in right where you are. Also, the miracle of where you are is something, we might think, why am I where I'm at, living on the globe right now, wherever I am? Why aren't I somewhere else? I've always wanted to go here. I've always wanted to live there. Well, the truth is, right where you are is also divinely timed and divinely planned. So just imagine if you're not exactly where you envisioned yourself being right now, know that you are exactly where you need to be at exactly the right time always. So bring in that light, anchor it in, and just imagine that it fills your home, your town, your city, your state, your country, province, county, wherever you are. Just imagine that you were placed there by God, by the divine, to bring in that light that only you could bring in because you agreed to bring this light in before you incarnated into this physical body. This little rent a vehicle we're in, we're only in it for a short time. And hopefully we figure out how to crack the code and break free from the karma and the cycles of um, being placed back into another body, into this physical reality. I always joke and say, this is my last incarnation, but I have some other stipulations too. If I do come back, that I will hit the ground running and have a complete remembrance of who I am, you know, like I remember, and then I find myself and I'm like, there I was, there I am talking as my other self, because all of this is recorded, whether it's, divine recording or whether it's recording like I'm doing right now. It's pretty wild, right? Like this is all being recorded and I'm recording this message right here in this time frame. Who knows how I find myself in the future or who finds me in the future, right? So, with that being said, the big takeaway here is just release expectations of others and don't hold yourself to the limitations that we feel time puts on us because we are infinite. We do go on forever. We're ancient souls. We are all just fractals of the divine source of that divine light, whatever you call it, God, universe, whatever resonates, it's all that same energy, that same frequency that we came from and that we will inevitably return to. And we have work to do here. And then when we leave the rent-a-body, then we go back and we go over our lessons and we still learn in spirit. Isn't that amazing how we never stop learning? So keep learning, keep creating, keep co-creating with the universe, and never give up on your dreams, no matter how old you are. And if you're younger, you know, don't look at older people like they're washed up and they have nothing else to live for. It's anything but the truth. I can tell you from where I am. I still feel vital. I have a lot of vital energy, even though I do have like health limitations at times. I'm not claiming any illness. I am healed. So I just want you to know that I am healed, okay? But I still feel that vital energy, that zest, that spark for life. And that's what we're all supposed to feel while we're here, while we're alive. Don't let anybody dim down your light, your dreams, your passions, your goals, your desires. The only expectations we need to have are the ones that we have for ourselves. And remember, with those expectations, we have to be kind to ourselves because the world is certainly not going to be kind to us. And we shouldn't be looking to the world to fill in those places within us with kindness. We have to do that for ourselves. When I learned that, everything changed. So think about that. How can you be kinder to yourself through everything? Every little mistake you make, every goal that you thought you should have achieved, just give yourself grace. It's okay. You're working on it. You are a work in progress. You are a piece of art. You are precious artwork of the divine. So keep creating your perfect life. And I just want to say, if you've been watching my videos, or maybe this is the first video you catch of mine, please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I will be going live to do some live readings here pretty soon. So watch for that to show up on my YouTube channel and my Facebook book group, Reverend Melissa Kennedy, live readings and events. You're welcome to join that or to follow me on Facebook, Reverend Melissa Kennedy. So I'm just going to sit and I'm going to use one deck of cards like I always do for a little extended message on today. It was mainly about time and how we view it and how we should just release ourselves from any of the restrictions or any of the limitations or anything that we are supposed to adhere to in regards to time, whether it's holidays, um, anything that's constricting about time, just release that in free flow. Free flow as much as you can now. Give yourself permission to do that. It's so important. So, the card that we get is not a unicorn out of the unicorn deck, it's the trust card. And it's a Pegasus, okay? And this is about trust. Everything in life that happens for us that is good is because we trusted ourselves, we trusted in our ability to create the life, the spaces and places, the people that we bring in into our life. So continue to trust yourself, your own intuition, that guidance that comes to you throughout your days. All right. And so the message on the card is leap into the unknown, have faith and move forward. Believe you will fly. And you know what? We really can fly. You know, we really do have wings. We have the ability to just close our eyes at any time, take that deep cleansing breath and relax, breathing in, breathing out, however many times it takes to take those deep cleansing breaths. I like to do them 3 times, and automatically my consciousness can be somewhere else. And so can yours. And so a lot of times, all you have to do is just maybe envision your favorite place on the earth or your favorite experience after you take those deep cleansing breaths, and imagine what that looks like, what that feels like. And you're there. You've already given yourself the wings to fly. That day may be long gone, but it still exists on your timeline in a place and time that you can go back to. You can access again and again. Even if it's somewhere you go in a meditation and you've never been there before, you can access that place again and again. Just remember that when your consciousness comes back into your physical body, that you ask your angels, God, universe to profoundly ground you back inside of this present moment so that when your spiritual body goes on a little journey, it can reintegrate back into your physical body and you can feel grounded, safe, and protected. And another thing to keep in mind is if you do journey out of body intentionally, astral travel, it's advised to travel in a tunnel of light, like a bubble of light. And that way you're protected in that God consciousness, that Christ consciousness, that higher self consciousness. Okay. And I always bring Archangel Michael with me wherever I go because I know nothing will ever happen to me if I'm in my tunnel of light, my sphere of light, and I bring Archangel Michael with me. So, just a little tip for when you project and you travel about, whether it's back through your timeline or going somewhere out in the astral, that you are safe and protected. So, that is my message for today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for liking, for commenting, for subscribing to my little channel. We all have a message to give. We all have something to add that brings us to a better place as a collective, as a humanity on this planet. Love more, and more love is what you will receive. Bye bye now.